I don't even know what jam I'm in, to be honest with you.
I wasn't selling stolen cars.
You weren't selling stolen cars.
And I'll reveal they've been caught on hidden camera.
I've never been caught in a sting operation.
Well, you're about to be.
For them, what's happening in Vegas won't be staying here. Tonight, we're going to take you on an undercover journey through an underground world. We start with some extraordinary video of criminals, shoplifters, thieves, and worse at work. They're cool, confident, and totally convinced they'll never be caught. Then we'll introduce you to the victims of those crimes. What they've lost can't be measured in just dollars and cents. And finally, you'll meet the criminals themselves as they discover they have been caught on hidden camera. It all happens right before your eyes here on Vegas Undercover.
Well, our vision here at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is to be the safest community in America.
Sheriff, we've tracked down their victims.
I was violated, and he's laughing about it.
On the other side of town, we're on the scene with undercover detectives watching from just yards away as thieves steal cars.
Yeah, it's gone.
The guys jumped in and took off, and now we're following them down the street here.
Hands up! Get them up in the air!
We're also riding with these cops as they go in search of a violent pimp.
Mom's gonna hit me in my face.
And we'll be there when the cops bring his victim home.
I believe he's gonna be in.
A few miles away, a career crook goes to work as cameras roll. You'll watch the crime in progress and the capture as it happens.
That's him running?
Yeah, that's him running.
And as you'll see, perhaps the most telling part
No, I was not her pimp.
is when I chat with the suspects.
How did you end up getting in this jam?
I don't even know what jam I'm in, to be honest with you.
I wasn't selling stolen cars.
You weren't selling stolen cars.
And I'll reveal they've been caught on hidden camera.
I've never been caught in a sting operation.
Well, you're about to be.
For them, what's happening in Vegas won't be staying here. Tonight, we're going to take you on an undercover journey through an underground world. We start with some extraordinary video of criminals, shoplifters, thieves, and worse at work. They're cool, confident, and totally convinced they'll never be caught. Then we'll introduce you to the victims of those crimes. What they've lost can't be measured in just dollars and cents. And finally, you'll meet the criminals themselves as they discover they have been caught on hidden camera. It all happens right before your eyes here on Vegas Undercover.
Well, our vision here at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is to be the safest community in America.
Sheriff Doug Gillespie says he encourages his force of more than 3,000 officers to be creative.
Policing cannot just be reactive, when people call you for help. You have to be proactive. Come up with different ideas, some old, some new. Don't accept just being good.
So the Vegas police find opportunities to catch thieves in the act.
Lately here, car theft has been jumping.
As you may remember from our last report, we're once again riding along with Lieutenant Bobby Duvall, who runs the Viper Squad, a specialized unit formed to combat auto theft. Hundreds of cars are stolen each month in Las Vegas, costing victims millions of dollars. Just 3 years ago, Vegas led the country in auto theft, but with aggressive policing, the numbers have been dropping. His team uses specially designed bait cars rigged with hidden cameras. They leave the vehicles in high-crime areas and wait for them to be stolen. Watch how it works.
Why are you following me?
It begins with undercover cops faking a fight.
I'm not taking care of business. What about our kid?
Then they appear to abandon the car in the chaos.
People have fights out on the streets all the time, and the cars get left behind.
Within minutes, the bait car is stolen. The vehicle is controlled remotely from a laptop.
You can arm it, disarm it, you can honk the horn, you can kill the ignition.
The suspect is 27-year-old Marco Flores. Look how he's covered his hands, presumably to avoid leaving fingerprints. But he needn't have bothered.
Put your hands up when you open it. Stand up. Get out of the car. Hands up. And all the way up.
Once he's in handcuffs, I get a chance to speak with him. Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and you're doing a story on auto theft. Can you tell me what happened here tonight? Can you tell me what happened here tonight?
Nothing, but it's just messed up.
Well, I'm still having a hard time understanding what you were going to do once you grabbed the car. Pick up your girlfriend, go for a ride,
Nothing.
go to Dairy Queen, what?
No, nothing like that.
Flores pleaded guilty to grand larceny auto.
I'm not with you anymore.
Another night, another fake fight, attracting another suspect. The man drives off, having no idea the cops are tracking him. He parks the car, gets out, and runs. Now, how often does this happen when somebody tries to run?
Not often.
The cops surround the area.
He's in here somewhere. Air unit. You get the air unit coming up.
Here comes the helicopter.
Can you advise if we got any rovers?
Here come the dogs. So whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
The police give chase for an intense 15 minutes. Chopper up in the air.
Got him.
They got him?
In custody.
So this is the suspect right here, who was missing between this street and the next street over. But once they brought the chopper in, the dogs, they were able to flush him out. The alleged car thief is younger than 18, so he'll be charged as a juvenile. How does it feel to pull this off?
That's pretty good. It's another catch.
In Vegas, car theft seems to be an equal opportunity crime. Any age, man or woman. Like 25-year-old Tiffany Montoya.
Here we go.
Females in it.
The cops tail her. She's startled by the sirens.
Your hand. Open the car from the outside.
She says she has no identification, but she offers a creative solution.
Did you have ID in your purse, did you say?
No, I have my name tattooed on me, though.
Tiffany, who has a prior conviction for prostitution, pleaded guilty to stealing the car.
One to the driver's side. Looking in.
Our next suspect, as we'll learn later, has had too much to drink, and his friend on the phone warns him not to take the car. But as you can see, he just doesn't listen.
Yeah, it's gone.
He drives less than a block before he's arrested.
Let me see your hand!
Yeah, right here.
You have the right to remain silent.
He's 44-year-old Elicio Gonzalez. It appears he thinks this is all very funny.
I didn't get about my friends. They told me to don't do it.
Okay, so they told you not to do it, and you took a chance or what?
I don't know. I make a stupid thing and I have to pay. I have to pay for a mistake. And they told me that I was stupid. And they know I'm stupid because I'm stupid.
Elicio pleaded guilty to grand larceny auto. Now, what's your favorite part about this assignment?
My favorite part is the catch. Using technology the way we're doing to turn it back on the thieves, to see that look in their face when they realize they've been had. Nothing better than that. Nothing better.
So what do thieves do with the cars they steal? Some take them here. When we come back, you'll see how the Las Vegas police are beating these criminals by joining them.
I got 860 on me, but you're right.
That's next. And coming up later, the bad guys get some bad news. They find out for the first time they've been caught on hidden camera.
It was a sting operation.
Okay, if it was a sting operation, I'm busted.
Can I show you some?
Cash for your gold and silver jewelry, watches, sterling silver, and old coins. Trust San Francisco Gold Buyer.
I walked out into the garage and I just looked around and said, wow, where's my car?
Sometime during the night, as Debbie Streeter slept, a thief sneaked into her garage and stole her 2007 Kia Sorento.
Hi, yes, I need some help. My car's gone.
Every time you walk outside, you're looking around, see if somebody's watching you, or at night, you're double checking doors and windows that you never did before.
So what happens to cars after crooks steal them? As we've shown you for nearly a year, we've been watching this fencing operation from behind the scenes.
He has access to all kinds of cars.
A place where thieves come to sell stolen goods to other criminals.
Hey, brother, what's going on?
But the guys behind the counter aren't crooks. They're really undercover detectives. It all happens at this little store tucked away in the shadow of the Vegas Strip, meant to look like a shop that sells and installs car audio systems.
There's 357 shows.
It's where we first saw suspects selling guns and cars.
Is that 357? I got 2,000.
And an alleged counterfeiter making bogus bills.
Where's your voice, man?
Business at this storefront is still booming. This guy's here to sell a grenade, and he's looking for top dollar.
300 is what the final sell was for on eBay that they're selling for.
And you know we're not eBay, right?
Right.
We've had people involved in vehicle theft rings.
Lieutenant Dave Logue oversees the storefront operation. He says most of their customers are career criminals, suspects who have done jail time and are now out.
Some are very violent, convicted of robbery, people that are ex-felons, and this is what people that are ex-felons, and this is what they do for a living.
They're on the way right now.
Meet Brad Young, a 6-time convicted felon.
I'm 29 years old and have been in prison 4 times, homeless.
Brad will turn out to be one of the shop's best customers, bringing in 6 cars in 6 weeks.
I'll give you $750 for this one. All right.
But just as important, he'll spread the word, sending in more thieves, all unaware they're walking into a sting operation.
You found it?
Right now, he's frustrated because his accomplices can't seem to remember where they parked a stolen vehicle.
Would you go outside in the parking lot and show these morons where the truck is, please?
While his cohorts are looking for the stolen truck, Brad is here selling a different one. He's eager to tell the undercover officers how he stole it.
And I said, I'm just going to pistol whip him in front of the camera.
He says he was in the drive-thru of a fast food place when the driver of the pickup passed him, scraping his car.
I said, here we go, dude. And I got out the car.
Brad reenacts how he says he punched his hand right through the driver's window.
Drug him right to the window, put him on the ground. I'm going to hit him one time. You know what, dude?
The driver was black, and Brad is apparently a racist.
I don't like I don't like him.
In addition to the 2 vehicles he's selling today, Brad says he's got a different deal in the works.
I got about 62 altogether. Guns, pistols, and rifles. Some of them are 12 gauges and 10 gauges.
He collects his money for the 2 cars, $1,400.
Should be 14 there.
And makes plans to come back soon.
Cool.
Cops want to know more about Brad and his friends, so they let him walk, but keep a close eye on him. Police say decisions like this are always a delicate balance. The plan is to arrest Brad and all the other suspects once the investigation is over.
What's up, dude? Chris, nice to meet you.
4 days later, Brad is back. This time, he's brought a friend with another stolen pickup for sale.
Tell you what, I got $860 on me. Would that be all right? That'd be cool.
They agree on $860 for the 2005 Ford F-150, and Brad takes a cut.
Hey, how much?
Here comes another referral. We met her in our last investigation. The drug-addicted mother of 3. She calls herself Chevy. She says Brad sent her.
Did Brad tell you what this is all about here?
Well, he told me, explained it to me a little bit.
Detectives want to keep spreading the word and give Chevy incentive to help.
Everybody who shows up and says your name, you're going to get some money on the back end.
Okay.
The better it is or whatever it is, the more you'll get.
A few days later, she's back. This time, This time, she's brought 3 friends. The little shop is becoming standing room only.
Levi, what's up, brother? Nice to meet you. Billy?
Billy's here to sell a car and a gun.
I'll do 2 bills on the car, 2 bills on the gun.
A week later, one of the men, Levi, is back.
You look so much happier than the last time.
The 22-year-old says he's a tree trimmer who's just become a father. He says he only steals cars to help support his family.
I have a full-time job. I got a family I take care of. I do my thing, bro.
Comes your way.
Yeah, exactly.
Today, Levi has 2 cars to sell. One of them, a Kia, bragging about how he stole it.
No, the keys are sitting right next to the car.
Idiots. Like in someone's driveway?
Yeah. Right next to the car, right on the ground. This valet key, whatever says valet, but it's sitting right there in the driveway.
In the driveway of the house?
No, in the garage.
The garage door's still closed.
Which brings us back to Debbie Streeter, the woman you met earlier whose car was stolen while she slept. Brings us back to Debbie Streeter, the woman you met earlier whose car was stolen while she slept. Levi just sold it to the undercover cops. We showed Debbie the hidden camera tape. She says it was her car, but she wasn't careless with her keys the way Levi claims.
He's laughing and he's happy and he's joking and he thinks it's a big joke, and that frustrates me.
He's boasting to the undercover officers how he did it.
Yeah, I was violated and that feels crappy, you know, and he's laughing about it.
But as you'll see, he won't be laughing for long.
Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC.
Coming up,
he was a good con artist, you know?
On the trail of a salesman, his product, women.
I had a quota, $1,200 to $1,500 a night.
And how much of that money did you get to keep?
None of that.
When Vegas Undercover continues.
The Postal Service is critical to our economy, delivering mail, medicine, and packages. Yet they're closing thousands of offices, slashing...
All it takes is a phone call. Your personal SelectQuote agent will answer all your questions and impartially shop the highly rated term life companies SelectQuote represents for your best rates. Give your family the security it needs at a price you can afford. Call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Sometimes I think the critics of the president are just clearly unfair when they say he doesn't love this country, for example. And here's a guy of mixed background, and he said, only in this country, my country, is this story possible. And look where he is. American exceptionalism.
With Vegas police on a manhunt.
Hi, I'm back.
Looking for the man who brutally beat this woman, Jessica Rodich.
My eye was swollen shut, and my lips were swollen. The bruising just started to go down.
The wanted man is Mario Davis, a pimp accused of taking advantage of young, vulnerable women.
It's like they're slaves. Where are they going to go?
Detective Chris Boffman, part of a unique police unit called the Pimp Investigative Team, is passionate about catching pimps, stopping them from victimizing young, impressionable women.
For me, there is no greater reward than possibly rescuing a girl.
He hunts guys like Mario, men known to enslave women through fear.
And what they will do is tell the girls, I know where your family lives at. If you try to run from me, I'll go to your family and I'll hurt them. I'll shoot them. I'll do whatever to them.
The detective started looking into Mario a year ago.
Back in September, there was a girl that came forward that wanted some help. Right.
Her name is Elizabeth Serrano. Both Jessica and Elizabeth worked as prostitutes for Mario, and both say he abused them.
He was a good con artist, you know?
Elizabeth says it all started when she was 18 and on her way to becoming a code breaker for the Air Force.
I was supposed to be a cryptological linguist.
She was about to be deployed, she says, when she was arrested for joyriding in a stolen car. As a result, the Air Force dropped her.
I was already processed. I'm just waiting to graduate high school.
Elizabeth says she was sitting in jail when she was approached by another woman in the lockup.
She said she had a friend that owned an escort service, and she could get me in.
Out of money and desperate, Elizabeth called the owner of the escort service, Mario Davis. Soon, she was turning tricks.
I had a quota. You know, I had to make that quota.
And what was the quota for you?
$1,200 to $1,500 a night.
And how much of that money did you get to keep?
No, none of it.
She says she tried to leave, but he wouldn't let her.
He'd be like, all right, go pack your stuff. And then if I actually did it, he'd beat me so severely.
She says she finally escaped when Mario took a trip out of town.
He wasn't there to stop me.
Tons of evidence.
Detective Boffman got the case, and he knew just who he was looking for. Turns out the detective and the pimp went to high school together, where Mario was a star basketball player. Did you ever imagine 20 years ago in high school that this basketball star, a year older than you, would become the target of one of your major investigations?
Nope.
Small town.
Small town, man.
The detective arrested his former classmate and charged him with pandering, selling Elizabeth's body for sex.
He admitted being a pimp. He said he'd been doing it. These girls were drawn to him.
A few months later, when Mario was out on bail, the detective got the call about another abuse case. It was Jessica, the woman we introduced. It was Jessica, the woman we introduced you to earlier.
My mouth, I can't open it because my jaw's bruised. Bruises on my arms. I got kicked in my kidneys. I was hit in my ribs.
She says she met Davis when she was a vulnerable, drug-addicted 22-year-old. How did he convince you that you'd be better off living a life of prostitution?
The money, the cars, the jewelry, the nice clothes.
They make it sound glamorous.
Yeah. You know, it sounds good, and then by that time you're already attached and you think you love them or you do love them. You get confused. They make it seem like this is how it should be.
But how can you love a guy that makes you go out every night and turn tricks?
He tells you that he's the only one that would ever love you because of what you do. And you start to believe that after a while.
But Jessica says everything changed just days before we met her. But Jessica says everything changed just days before we met her, when Mario found a text message from another man, sending him into a jealous rage.
He's picked me up and threw me off the couch.
And what did he do then?
He sat on my arms.
He pinned you down.
That's when he hit me in my face.
She says after the beating, he chopped off her hair.
I just didn't think it could be me.
Mario here?
When police enter Mario's house, he isn't there, but they find crucial evidence. So this is the hair that you recovered?
Yes, it is.
Hours later, Detective Boffman gets a call from Mario's attorney. The accused pimp has agreed to turn himself in.
All right, turn around. I gotta pat you down real quick, Mario.
Mario arrives as scheduled outside the jail.
Spread your feet. Just your phone.
He's given a date to appear in court and is released on bail. Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. How you doing? That's when I catch up to him. Did you ever beat Jessica?
No.
Did you ever beat Elizabeth?
No, and in the end, the truth will come out. I said, one thing I'm guilty of is being black and having a girlfriend that was a prostitute. That's all I'm guilty of.
Jessica and Elizabeth told us they were just two of at least a dozen women working for Mario.
There's no crime in having 15 girlfriends. I'm not married. I'm still young.
There's no crime in having 15 girlfriends, clearly.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
But the question is, were they going out, turning tricks, and giving you the money?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, they wasn't.
Well, how do you make your living then?
I'm a 1-2.
You're a 1-2 what?
Yeah, I'm an escort myself. I'm going to tell myself.
Mario might be a male escort, but now he's a felon. He's pleaded guilty to pandering with force. As part of a plea bargain, he'll be on 5 years probation. Detective Boffman believes, for now, he's put Mario out of commission. Boffman believes, for now, he's put Mario out of commission. Has justice been served in this case?
I believe, yeah, 100%. 100%.
But Mario Davis is not behind bars.
No, he's not.
And he took a deal.
He did take a deal. He makes one mistake. If he does something wrong, then he goes to prison for anywhere from 8 to 17 years.
And that's good enough for Jessica's father, who is deeply grateful to Detective Boffman for bringing his only daughter home.
All I did was hold her until she fell asleep the best she could after Detective brought her in. That's a great guy over there. That's a dedicated man.
When you can help a girl, someone that no one else was able to help, it is probably the most rewarding thing that I've ever done.
Coming up, the ups and downs of a shoplifter when Vegas Undercover continues.
Hello, I'm Melissa Rayberger. Most of America's jobless have been without a job for so long now that they aren't getting employment anymore. The Census Bureau says a third of America's 14 million unemployed haven't had a job for more than a year. And former Penn State University assistant football coach Jeff Sandusky is facing charges for allegedly abusing 8 young men. The university's athletic director and a vice president are both facing charges for perjury and failure to report the suspected abuse. Now back to Vegas Undercover.
Been given a front row seat riding with a squad of detectives who focus only on repeat offenders.
We concentrate on career criminals, habitual criminals, and repeat offenders.
Lieutenant Ted Lee, who heads up this specialized unit, says it's the career criminals who commit most crime.
20% of the people that are committing 80% of the crime. 20% of the people that are committing 80% of the crime within a city.
Convinced these crooks won't stop committing crimes, police here in Vegas secretly tail them, often catching habitual offenders in the act. Tonight, we're riding with Sergeant Jim Seawee as he and his team follow a suspect named Raja Jones, a 6-time convicted felon.
That's the perfect example of habitual criminal or repeat offender that we deal with every day.
Raja Jones.
Raja Jones is.
So what has Raja been up to? Take a look at what he did a year ago, October. You're watching a professional shoplifter go to work. Here he is at Fry's electronics store. Surveillance cameras immediately pick him up and follow him as he heads down the aisle looking like a regular shopper, stopping and browsing. Soon, he makes his move. Watch as he takes a $139 amplifier out of the box, shoves it down his pants, and then covers it up with his shirt. Amplifier out of the box, shoves it down his pants, and then covers it up with his shirt. Feeling the squeeze, he takes off his belt and ditches it. He heads to the checkout and pays for a different item in his cart. All looks normal as he exits the store, but security isn't fooled, and they move in for the arrest, tackling him. Raja was charged with a misdemeanor and released. You'd think that arrest would have scared him. Not Raja. 1 month later, he enters this convenience store. When he thinks the coast is clear, he walks into the back room. Seconds later, he comes out with cartons of cigarettes. He hides in an aisle, stuffs them in his coat, and walks out. Raja was arrested and this time charged with grand larceny. He was released on bail and later pleaded guilty. But his crime spree is still not over. Last spring, he was caught robbing lockers at a 24-hour fitness gym. Detective Ethan Grimes got the case.
I spent approximately 4 weeks on this case.
He found out one of his victims was Yaroslav Dobrovolosky, a professional acrobat in Cirque du Soleil's Mystère. You finish your workout.
Yeah.
You go back to your locker.
Yes.
What do you see?
There's no clothes, no shoes, no wallet with credit cards.
Everything was gone.
I'm so upset. I just need to call right away my wife and tell her to close all my credit cards.
But it wasn't just credit cards he needed to worry about. Raja also allegedly stole Yaroslav's identity, using it to buy a cell phone, and even something you might not expect.
I had some call from dental's office.
A dentist's office?
Yes.
Police say Raja used his identity to get his teeth x-rayed. Detective Grimes, police say Raja used his identity to get his teeth x-rayed. Detective Grimes linked Raja to the crimes, took one look at his long criminal history, and turned the case over to the Repeat Offenders Unit.
The fresher their information, the quicker they can find these people they want to do surveillance on.
Yep, that's them.
And that's why tonight, police have decided to follow Raja Jones. What are the chances he'll commit a crime while the police and our cameras are watching?
Turn lane.
As the evening begins, it looks as if Raja, driving this Cadillac, may have changed his ways. He and his girlfriend head to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. But the night is young.
Fitness.
His next stop, a familiar place, a 24-hour fitness gym.
He's right there at the counter.
It's a short visit, and a few minutes later, Raja comes out.
But we can't confirm if anything was broken into because a lot of lockers are open.
Raja and his girlfriend continue on.
He's up at the register now.
Stopping at several convenience stores. Seems like he might be up to his old tricks.
We followed him into a couple of stores, and it looks like he's going in where the female is distracting the clerk, while the male subject appears to be attempting to check doors.
But cops don't think he stole anything here. But what about this next stop at a 7-Eleven?
He's pulling into the 7-Eleven. She's at the doors.
A surveillance camera rolls as Raja's girlfriend goes in first, and as she did in the last stop, distracts the clerk.
She's in.
Now here comes Raja.
I believe he's going to be in.
Watch him go into the back room. You can guess what happens next. He takes 2 large boxes full of cigarettes and leaves out a back door.
He went in a back room, triggering an alarm.
The cops follow him. He heads to this parking lot to meet a man waiting to buy his stolen stash.
That's him running? Yeah, that's him running.
The police quickly catch him, and Raja is tackled again. Raja and his girlfriend, 26-year-old Melissa Beatty, are arrested on burglary and grand larceny charges. He doesn't want to talk to police.
Why'd you run? Let's start off with that one.
But his girlfriend does.
He doesn't tell me what he steals. He doesn't tell me what he does. It's my boyfriend, and I'm not working right now. We just got a new house.
She tells them the theft was all Raja's idea, but admits she was an accomplice.
If I just would go and look out for him, just to watch for him, to distract, then that's me putting in my share to the rent.
Okay.
Okay, and that's honest God truth.
Melissa Beatty has pleaded guilty. Also arrested in the parking lot is the man who bought the stolen cigarettes. Detectives find the 2 crates and $1,500 in cash in his car. His name is Norm Mansour, and he owns a small Vegas smoke shop. He's arrested for receiving stolen property and is released on bail. That's when I pay him a visit. Hey, Mr. Mansour.
How you doing?
Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. How are you?
Good.
We're doing a story on an investigation being conducted by the police about receiving stolen cigarettes, and I wanted to get your side of the story on it.
No comments.
But when the police arrested Raja Jones, you had a lot of cigarettes with you. No comments at all? Norm was found guilty of possession of stolen property. Hey, Raja? Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. We also went to see Raja Jones, who's now behind bars. I wanted to just see if you had anything to say about it, if you're willing to talk to us and get your side of the story.
No.
It involved cigarettes.
I don't have nothing to say, man.
Raja, who has pleaded guilty, may not want to talk, but back at the storefront operation, suspects are still filing in. Coming up, they'll have a lot to say about how they're ripping people off.
And you said it came from a ballet?
Coming up, a car thief who thinks he's a hero.
He doesn't appreciate what he's got, so I think he thinks something like
Not surprisingly, his victim disagreed.
I hope he gets the maximum penalty for it.
When Vegas Undercover continues.
America is facing some tough challenges right now. 2 of the most important are energy security and economic growth. North America actually has one of the largest oil reserves in the world. A large part of that is oil sands. This resource has the ability to create hundreds of thousands of jobs. At our Curl project in Canada, we'll be able to produce these oil sands with the same emissions as many other oils. And that's a huge breakthrough. That's good for our country's energy security and our economy.
This is one of the last images of Osama bin Laden.
Now, take it to a TrueCar certified dealer near you where you can pick up your new car.
I saved $8,300 on TrueCar.com. TrueCar.com was free.
And we saved a heck of a lot of money.
Took 3 clicks and I knew exactly what I was going to pay for the car that I wanted to buy.
The research is done for you by TrueCar.com.
So log on to the hassle-free, haggle-free, totally free way to buy a new car. That's TrueCar.com.
You're watching MSNBC.
Are you guys ready? Ready? For the last 9 months, we've been watching from the back room as this storefront has been a revolving door for criminal suspects selling their loot. They think they're selling to crooks, but the buyers are actually undercover detectives. It's all been caught on tape. Remember 29-year-old Brad Youngs, the violent 6-time offender? He sent many of his criminal friends to the fencing operation, taking a cut of each deal along the way. Brad hasn't been seen for a while. Turns out he was arrested on a different case. But here comes his girlfriend, Alicia Napadano.
Like, now I'm the one doing all the running around, trying to get money, and it's just ridiculous.
Are you working right now? Are
No.
you chucking eating rent or what?
I've never had a job in my life.
Shut up. How old are you?
21.
You never had a job ever? Burger barn, freaking Subway, nothing?
I never had to.
In all, she'll make 9 visits to the storefront.
Oh my God, you're alive.
This time, it's a stolen BMW.
And you said it came from a valet?
She explains it was stolen from a casino.
Well, they leave the keys in them a lot of times so the valet can drive it off into a parking spot as they walk into the casino or whatever.
Most of all, Alicia seems to be spreading the word for her boyfriend. Brad while he's in jail.
What's up, man? How you doing? I'm Chris. Who are you? Todd.
She sends this guy. He's a friend of Brad's.
Alicia said you knew him. Yeah.
He's Todd McClary. He's here with 5 vehicles, one of them a $230,000 Bentley.
I got them all here, dude, believe it or not. I've actually got them here, and it's been a damn nightmare.
Todd, a 43-year-old carpet layer, explains he's the middleman, not the thief.
I just coordinate, man.
The actual thief, he says, is waiting outside, his former cellmate.
The one dude I was in prison with, did a little time with him.
His name is James Remington, or JR.
Okay, let's see what you got.
JR explains that after he burglarized a house, he found he had unknowingly taken the titles to 2 cars, which gave him an idea.
I left with all the stuff that I had, and I got home and I found titles to these cars. Because I didn't go to the garage, so I left with all the stuff that I had, and I got home and I found titles to these cars. Because I didn't go to the garage, so should I go back? Never go back.
But he made an exception, saying he went back and stole the 2 cars.
Okay, went back. And I said, ooh, me. So I grabbed one of them, and I had my partner come back with me and grab the other one.
You met twice?
3 times.
The undercover detectives make him an offer.
I can give you $2,500 for both the rides.
$2,500 for cars worth nearly $300,000. The cops tell JR they don't have enough money on them and convince him to come back the next day.
Coming in.
As he warms up to the cops, he explains why he thought what he did was justified.
Well, it's a summer house apparently for these people, and they're worth like $10 billion, so I don't feel bad. If it was just an average Joe working his ass off, I don't like that. I have a conscience.
In fact, he says he's the good guy.
When a guy has 3 houses and
All right. He's not missing it.
He's a piece of actually because he cheats people like and he doesn't.
He's not missing it.
He's a piece of actually because he cheats people like and he doesn't appreciate what he's got. So I think he gives something mine.
You're like Robin Hood.
Pretty much.
We wondered if the owner of the Bentley and the Mustang would agree, so we tracked him down.
He doesn't understand how violated that made me feel.
His name is Michael Lipscomb. He's in the oil business and says he's a self-made man who's worked hard for every dollar he's earned.
My wife and I are very comfortable. We do have 2 houses, but you know, when I left home, I had $237. So what I got by working for it.
We played him the tape of JR fencing his prized automobiles. What do you think should happen to this fellow?
I hope he gets the maximum penalty for it. You can see from the video that he thinks he was completely in the right.
Without this storefront investigation, do you think you would have gotten these cars back?
I don't think we would have.
Finally, JR and the rest of the gang are about to be put out of business. We'll get a chance to speak with them. Hey, Brad.
How you doing?
and I'll reveal to them for the first time that they've been caught on hidden camera. And I'm wondering if I can show you a videotape.
Absolutely.
I think you might want to see it. It was a sting operation.
I've never been caught in a sting operation.
Well, you're about to be.
We asked real people if they'd help us with an experiment for Febreze Fabric Refresher. They agreed.
Relax, take some nice deep breaths.
What do you smell?
Lilac.
Clean.
There's something that's really fresh. A little bit beachy.
Like children's blankets. Smells like home.
Okay, take your blindfolds off. Hello?
And a now new and improved Febreze Fabric Refresher with up to 2 times the odor elimination, so you can breathe happy, guaranteed.
I wish you guys had layaway.
Well,
because you know I could pay a little at a time.
But actually,
and my kids would be
do.
like, "Awesome, Mom!" Oh.
Here's Dr. Picard. Why did you choose Roslyn Capital?
I receive great information, and I always get my gold in 10 days or less.
And with the Roslyn Capital 100% buyback guarantee, they're as good as gold.
Get a free Mercury dime and a free gold kit. Plus, with your minimum order, get a free safe to store your gold. Call 800-483-8129. 800-483-8129.
Put your hands up.
Let me see your hands!
Yeah, right here.
With our all-access pass, we've been right there as the Vegas police take down criminals like pimps and car thieves.
Get your hands up!
Now they're rounding up the suspects from the undercover fencing operation. In all, police recovered more than $1 million in stolen cars, arresting 38 suspects, most of them repeat offenders who are now behind bars. We went to the local jail to speak with some of them. Hey, Brad.
How you doing?
Good. Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. How you doing?
How you doing?
We start with the ringleader, the man police say was at the top of the criminal network, Brad Youngs. He's the guy connected to the theft of 9 cars, bragging about beating a black man after stealing his truck.
Drug him right to the
Brad has no idea he was caught on hidden camera in a police sting operation, but he's about to find out. We're doing a story on this investigation that was conducted by the Metro Vegas Police Department.
Investigation for what?
Well, for a lot of things, including people who are selling stolen vehicles. Do you know anything about this?
Absolutely not.
Not at all. Did you sell anyone any stolen vehicles over the past several months? No? No trucks? No Dodge Chargers?
Absolutely not.
None of that. You're sure?
I'm positive.
Because maybe this is a big mix-up.
Wasn't me.
I'm wondering if I can show you a videotape.
Absolutely.
I think you might want to see it. Watch Brad closely. As the video begins to play, his face starts to twitch. How do you explain that?
Explain what?
Explain what was going on there.
I was talking to somebody.
You were talking to somebody? Mm-hmm. Who were you talking to?
I don't know, but I'm done talking. I want to talk to my attorney.
Brad pleaded guilty and has been sentenced to 10 to 25 years in prison. Hey, Levi, how are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. Then there's Levi Agan. He's the new dad who bragged about stealing Debbie Streeter's Kia.
Alan Peterson right next to the car.
Levi also doesn't know that he's been caught in a sting operation. You actually show up in this investigation selling stolen cars.
I wasn't selling stolen cars.
You weren't selling stolen cars?
No, sir.
You think it's funny?
I don't think it's funny at all. I don't think it's funny at all. Really, I really don't think it's funny.
Because here's the thing. During that investigation, hidden cameras and microphones were running the whole time. And I have a video I'd like you to see if you'd like to look at it.
Yes, sir.
You got this thing? No, Peterson right next to the car.
After seeing the video, he changes his story. Now, you also talk about going in the house, getting the car keys, and stealing the car.
How's this BS?
Well, why would you say it then?
I don't know.
Why does somebody admit to a felony if they didn't really do it?
A lot of the stuff is a lot of the stuff, I don't know, a lot of stuff is BS that we do talk about.
What wasn't BS, though, is that you put together 7 deals to sell stolen automobiles, right?
Just like as long as with them I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 7 times.
Yeah. I mean, just as much as they had 7 deals, I had 7 deals with 7 deals. I had 7 deals with.
With this group.
Yeah.
How much money did you get for all this stuff?
I'd get a percentage, maybe $50 a car.
$50 a car?
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't.
Was it worth it? Levi says he commits crimes because of drugs.
Every time I've ever been arrested, every time I've ever been in trouble was being high on crystal meth or doing drugs or doing dope.
Is there anything else you want folks to know about your situation?
I don't know. I guess I'm sorry to the victims that I stole the cars from and took cars from. And
okay. Levi pleaded guilty.
Thanks for your time.
Hey, Todd, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Next, Todd McClary, the guy who calls himself the middleman.
I just coordinated, man.
Also unaware he's been caught on tape, he denies everything. Have you ever sold any stolen cars before?
No.
Do you know anything about stolen car rings?
No.
There's evidence that he did get involved in selling some stolen cars. There's evidence that he did get involved in selling some stolen cars in an undercover sting operation.
I was in no part of an undercover sting operation.
I'm not saying you helped the police with the sting operation. I'm saying you got caught in a sting operation.
I've never been caught in a sting operation.
Well, you're about to be. Can I show you some videotape?
And you call it paranoia. I'd rather be paranoid than be free. I don't deal with this on a day-to-day basis.
That's you, right?
Yep.
I mean, you denied it in the beginning of our conversation until you saw the videotape. Did you just forget about it?
No.
You knew it.
Yeah, I knew it.
Want to cut that up and make sure you're good?
How much did you make off of all that?
Not much.
I mean, it looks like he was counting off a pretty big stack of...
I didn't make off any of that, so that wasn't my money. There was only a couple times I actually had my hands on the money first, but for the most part, wow.
As we've heard before, he says he needed the money to get high.
I did some things, that I'm paying for, right now. I'm sure I deserve it, but at the same time, I need help.
Todd pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 9.5 to 26 years in prison. Hey, JR, how you doing? Remember JR, the Bentley thief?
And he doesn't appreciate what he's got, so I take and give it to somebody who might. Like Robin Hood, pretty much.
He's not looking as confident in his prison blues. How did you end up getting in this jam?
I don't even know what jam I'm in, be honest with you.
Well, let me ask you this, JR. Did you ever take some stolen cars over to a little storefront?
No, I never did personally sell anybody any car. I was there with a friend of mine.
With a friend?
To deliver the
cars. Did you ever get any of the money for these cars?
No, I didn't get any of the money, no.
Did you bring over a 2008 Bentley?
Yes.
You did? Mm-hmm. And where'd that Bentley come from?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No.
You didn't steal that Bentley?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No.
You didn't steal that Bentley?
No, I didn't steal that Bentley.
You ever steal any cars?
No.
You ever break into any homes?
Didn't steal a car? No. Most of the time, the house is already open.
My questions about the storefront make JR suspicious of the guys who were working there.
Who are they?
It was a sting operation.
Okay, if it was a sting operation, I'm busted for going there, and I'm sure they had a camera on me.
Well, in fact, they did. Can I show you some of the videotape? Would you like to take a look?
And they're worth about $10 billion, so I don't feel bad.
You're bragging there, JR.
Yeah.
About robbing a guy. And you don't feel bad about it. After seeing himself on tape, JR says he was just blowing smoke.
This is just a made-up person.
So you just made it up?
Yeah, I just made it up. And, that
Did you talk about taking the Bentley? You taking the Bentley?
Well, I was trying to be cool.
JR has pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 10 years to life in prison.
I have never had a job in my life.
Shut up. Then there's Alicia Napadano, the woman who brags she's never worked a day in her life. She's pleaded guilty for the crimes related to her visits to the storefront. Sheriff Doug Gillespie says his department's proactive policing is working.
Our crime numbers are down.
And warns that crooks should think twice before committing a crime in Las Vegas. What do you say to criminals who may see this, who have their eyes on Las Vegas?
Watch out. We're in a lot of different places, doing a lot of different things. And you may think you're good at your trade, but we're that much better. And you're going to get caught.
And we'll be watching as we continue our coverage of the Vegas cops, close up and undercover. You'll find more information about this undercover operation on our website. Just log on to dateline.ms.